other people who will comment similarly. I am extremely disappointed that we are here today. I'm extremely disappointed that, again, we have to have this conversation about how we will not engage in an austerity budget. We are not going to engage in pitting populations against populations, communities of color against communities of color. We are not going to engage in children versus seniors or those who are housed versus unhoused. We are talking about the very core services of government, and those core services of government should be coming from the general fund. When we passed this tax initially, when the council courageously stepped forward and put forward a tax on sugary sweetened beverages, they did so in an intentional and thoughtful way, including communities of color, including those most harmed by the targeting of soda companies, including a conscious analysis of how to make sure that we kept workers whole, and that as the tax was implemented, those dollars went back into the very communities that were being taxed. This effort to try to pit one of us against another one of us in the community is part of why we are standing strong to stand up against this veto. Today, Mr. President, I'm going to be supporting the council in its original language that it brought forward to make sure that we are not replacing general fund dollars with soda tax dollars. The soda tax was a public health intervention. It was always a bill to be a public health harm reduction strategy, not to foot the bill for general government. So today, Mr. President, we stand in solidarity with the public health advocates who recognize that we need to reduce consumption of sugary sweetened beverage, with the voters who knew that we were yet again imposing a regressive tax, but doing so in a way to be intentional to get money back into the very communities that were being harmed by high sugary sweetened beverages, and to also recognize that, yes, consumption has not declined because we don't have those dollars in hand and have not directed them to the educational programs, to the early learning programs, to the programs that ensure that there's more than just high salt, high carb, high fat food in our communities, and we need access to fruits and vegetables and healthy foods, and that we need community gardens and we need community education programs. That is what these dollars were intended to do, in addition to making sure that we supported early learning programs, home visiting programs, food assistance programs. I do believe that we should do both. We can do both. The sugary sweetened tax beverage was, the tax was never intended to padding the pockets of our budget overall, and instead needs to go back into the very communities that supported this to begin with. So as a public health advocate, as a champion to make sure that we're investing in our earliest learners, as someone who wants to see our communities become healthier and greener and live longer, we need to be true to what we've promised to the voters, and that was that this money would be walled off and intentionally directed to those who are consuming sugary sweetened beverages at highest rates, and that we reduce consumption overall to create healthier communities across the board. Mr. President, I'll be supporting our initial bill.
Thank you.